low APM condition firebrand, 19.66 APM, 33,000 DPS, Brazil. That is wild.
This is how I want to play Bladesworn personally. It's just, you just chill out and you fucking press the big kill button and you slowly ramp up to it and then you just press the big kill button.
And this is being used so you can actually play Scrapper as well with strength runes for might uptime as well. Oh my goodness, we've got a build here. We've got a build here, Brazil. This is actually a big build. Wait, and it's blasting 30k DPS? What? Delete Mechanist. Do you know what it's time for? It's time to talk about some of the sickest builds you will ever see. So a while ago, we challenged the Guild Wars 2 community to come up with the best high-value damage, support, creative, crazy, bizarre, wacky builds that are going to be extremely efficient with a low amount of inputs and, more importantly, a low burst input. So in other words, you can't be like mashing buttons like crazy. So it's low actions per minute, 20 actions per minute at a maximum. Okay, and there's also this limitation on how many buttons you can hit in a sequence, because again, the goal of this is to make it more accessible for newer players so they can pick up builds that are really effective without having to mash a million buttons before they get into content. And also, there is the other element, of course, where some players have difficulty with this on a physical level, with inputting multiple commands into the game in a very short period of time, because Guild Wars is a pretty spammy game, right? It's a pretty damn spammy game. So there you go. We thought that'd be interesting. And I'll tell you what, you're in for a treat right now, because some of these are actually so much better than you would ever imagine. Like, you are going to be amazed at how effective some of these builds are, right? I know that everyone's like, oh yeah, Guild Wars 2, you got to play the piano to play these builds well. Well, let me tell you, okay? This will be a piano, but maybe with a few less keys than normal. And first up, we're just going to go into Guardian, right? We're going to go into Guardian immediately. And look, we had some big theory cards from actual top guilds here. You know, we're going to be seeing players from CND, actually. I see Boven there. I see Xionon in this list of gamers. So let's go ahead and get into this right now. The first 20 APM build is actually going to be a DPS Guardian build, I believe here. Here it is. And we're going to be seeing that showcase of this build right now, guys. It is. Here it is. Low APM Condition Firebrand, 19.66 APM, 33,000 DPS, Brazil. That is wild.
This build is seriously insane. Did you see the trait that he uses in the build description?
Yeah, he uses the CC trait, right? Stoic Demeanor, I believe?
Yes.
To get mass value out of the Sanctuary. Yeah.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah.
And he talks about you can hold down Torch 4 to where they all just cast at the same time. And
yeah.
You can burst all of your CCs together for break bars for extra burn. It's fucking big brain. This is 700 IQ.
It is 700 IQ. And what I really like about this is there's definitely there's so much room to use skills in an emergency, right? Because none of the tomes are being used here. So not only, in fact, you're not even seeing a weapon swap. So notice the fact that this is actually entirely based around one weapon set. That means that you have full utility available at all times in your secondary weapon set. If you want to swap to that, you can have anything you like there. And of course, all three tomes are available as pure utility, so you can use them completely reactively and just worry about your weapon skills and key utility skills for maintaining DPS. And there's plenty of room for customization here as well. As you can see, a lot of signets are being taken here with the heal skill and the elite skill, of course, Signet of Wrath. But you could actually very easily substitute in the healing mantra for some additional protection uptime, and even you know, something like renewed focus for an invulnerability on the elite skill to use as an emergency cooldown, some extra quickness, right? Or potentially, you know, or even stability, right? On the stability mantra would also be a fantastic pickup on this build, as you don't need the elite skill for DPS. So very good starter, and you can see that this performs very well. Okay, very, very well indeed. And again, 33k, pure solo on the benchmark with 20 APM. That is wild, Brazil. That is crazy.
It's fucking good.
Yeah. So there you go. Fantastic stuff. And of course, as a final note here, you could use the Sanctuary, right, as CC, right? It is a part of the DPS rotation, but you could obviously, oh, there's a break bar coming up. I'm going to hold it for a little while, and then I'll use it as part of the CC rotation as well. So there's plenty of other options that can be used there. But very big entry there from, of course, support hero. Okay, and just to say where the stakes are, I think we have like 20k gold for this, I think is correct.
Yes.
And every single winner is going to be getting a community chest and community hero, because that's really exactly what they are. I think this is an amazing start, and these resources are going to be extremely useful for players who are looking for a slightly more gentle entry into the game, or a build that doesn't require so much spamming, right, and so much like high octane action compared to some of the options. But there you go, a strong start actually from support hero. Let's go ahead and move on. And yeah, just before we move on, guys, we're probably going to put some of these in a curated fashion onto the Hard Sub website, actually, because they're actually really good. And we definitely want to have this section that's going to be ideal for newer players, right? And for players who, again, may have difficulty with builds that are very, very high intensity. So yeah, these are gonna end up on the website, and I'll probably link the spreadsheet to this, or a copy of the spreadsheet in the description of whatever this ends up on YouTube, and probably in the Discord as well, guys. So you can see all of these builds. We will link it, but right now we're just gonna go through these. And actually, this one, I'm not gonna lie, I peaked at this one, Brazil, so I'm actually not gonna be surprised. But this video is huge. And you know what? Boven is someone I've known for a long time. He used to play in Mystic builds, but yeah, spoiler alert, it's Boven with the best support Guardian build. Here we go. You guys want to play Hammer? Then say hello to Writ of Persistence, massive Giga Sustain, Quickness, Support, low actions per minute Firebrand. With an approximate actions per minute of 14, you're going to be delivering quickness uptime, massive healing, and of course might, I believe, to your subgroup, in addition to protection and resolution, and even fury. So this build really honestly has a lot going for it. There's a lot going on here on this build. And he's also put together a big montage too. Very high effort, right? Like a few demonstrations of the build's power. As you can see here, it's actually very easily out-healing the intense damage aura, right? As we can see here on the standard golem here in the training arena. So that's just auto-attacking using these mantras without really even worrying about tomes. And again, what you're going to notice here is that there's not a lot of tome spam usage. Again, leaving all of those cooldowns available for you to use in a reactive fashion, exactly like how we see here. Look at him clearing out those AoEs there with the fire there, and still using, again, keeping the other cooldowns up there. And you can just focus on one set of weapon skills here, just focusing on auto attacks and keeping up key boons like this, with some additional skills that you'll be able to use reactively down the line. And here's another option using Mace, which actually has like that auto attack heal on it too, and then the shield too. So 2 options here for this build, and of course providing these very important key boons and a demonstration of the reactive usage of Tome 2 here at the same time. Gotta say, pretty impressive, and I think a lot of players who want to play a Hammer will be pretty happy with that, I think so, Brazil.
Yeah, it's huge. We used to play Hammer Guardian back in the day before prefixed fractals, when fractals were very stressful. And having just the passive protection and the CC that it provides you, and like Ring of Warding and Banish, it's so huge. Hammer is a really undervalued weapon, and all the Hammer legendaries are awesome. Like
true.
Shurer and Juggernaut, they're huge, and the Aurene Hammer is huge. They're all huge. They're all big. Like make them, and then just go play this build. It's a really fucking good build.
Yeah, it's a juicy build. And plenty of room for extension here as well, right? For example, you could slot in a staff as well, and that will help your might uptime if you kind of want to get used to that second weapon set. So there's room for extension there. And the really important thing that you'll see with a lot of these builds, I didn't mention this on the first one, but I will now, is that this build actually uses a very similar toolkit to a full heal Firebrand, right? Which means that you can start out with this, and if you want to, if you feel comfortable, you can actually scale it up to the actual full build, which utilizes the additional weapon set and a few different abilities usages, but you'll be able to have that very nice ramp and that learning curve into those other builds. So I think that's also a really nice thing to point out, actually, with the way that Boven's gone about creating this. So very well done here to Boven for the top support build for Guardian. We're now going to be moving on to Warrior, I believe, directly after that. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next Warrior build. And this is going to be the best DPS build for Warrior. Let's see what we've got. Ooh, this is exciting. It's going to be Bladesworn, everyone. Let's take a look at this.
This is, holy shit, this build is huge. I love this build so much.
Tell me about it.
It's actually, this is how I want to play Bladesworn personally. It's just, you just chill out and you fucking press the big kill button and you slowly ramp up to it and then you just press the big kill button. It's relaxed. Like, the play style is very balanced between being able to move around and being able to just hit the big damage, and you're not constantly spamming all of this ammo skill cooldown shit, which is just, that's really annoying to do. It's very frustrating. It's hard to actually pull off unless you're a god tier player in a real encounter. This is just a big pumper, simple damage build. Ooga booga, big numbers. I love it. It's so good.
It absolutely is. And again, this actually goes to around 31,000 damage per second at a very, very low actions per minute count. And you can see that the actions are very well spaced out here as well. So I think that's really going to aid with the learning process. And again, you could absolutely take this build and then extend it into the next level if you so desire after you feel comfortable. And also, nice bonus here as well. This is a mega roleplay build too, as the only abilities we're really seeing used here are actually almost exclusively Gunblade and the Dragon Trigger. Now we see a bit of pistol skill used there, because that pistol 5, do you know that's actually like the hardest hitting skill in the game or something like that? It's actually insane when you unleash all of its ammo. It's actually ridiculous, right? But yeah, a very, very low amount of button inputs and a colossal amount of damage. And of course, because of the nature of Bladesworn, it's a power build, so it's incredibly bursty. And Dragon Trigger is a massive 170,000 nuke. So you are going to absolutely decimate enemies, particularly if you're in the open world or in some raiding memes there as well. So absolutely crazy stuff. Huge amounts of damage coming out there. It really is. It really, really is indeed. But that's a really impressive build. Now that Brazil's a fucking good build. You know, 31k build, DPS. Yeah. 31k?
15 APMs.
Yes. 15 actions per minute, guys. That's one button every 4 seconds. 31k DPS. Crazy.
If Renji were still alive, he would be playing this build. Yeah. My heart goes out to him.
Very nice. And, of course, let's go game. Let's go next. The next one is going to be a banner warrior. Okay, a support build, of course. That warrior build did not feature any banners, but do not worry. This one actually will. Coming in from Narsin Rock. Here we go. So we have wait, this is a core warrior.
Yes. Yes.
That's big. That is actually big.
It is.
How much damage does this do actually? Do you know what the number is?
Let me go back and check at it.
It's over 30k right now. I'm looking at the arc. Yeah, it's over 30k. This is big. This is some big damage here. And of course, you have access to the banners here that you're able to use. 27. Yeah. So, of course, this is one of these key builds that, you know, is incredibly powerful. If you're in open world, if you're in instance content, having access to those banners, and even the elite banner for some revival support, because we're not playing Berserker for the headbutt, is going to be delivering absolutely massive, massive damage indeed. Yeah, he has the, he has like the execute, like the anti-execute right now, doesn't he, actually? So it is going to go down. It's going to go down to around 26k DPS here, I believe. But this build really delivers some high value with 19 actions per minute, and you're bringing banners at the exact same time there as well. You know, core warrior. Who would have seen that one coming? I'm surprised we didn't see a Berserker build. Maybe Berserker has too many actions though, right? Because you have to spam the F1 really, really hard, I guess. So that you'll break the speed limit, right? You're going to break the speed limit. So the actions per minute are too high. So this build actually performing very well. I think another thing that's nice about this is that you actually, you're only using one weapon set. So for example, you could take double maces, right, for some mega CC in the other set too. Because of course, Defiance Bar is a real key thing that Warrior can bring to the table. And that means that you can just go ahead and take that as a free weapon set and just blast, right, and just nuke really hard with that. So a very, very handy build here. Very simple as you can see. One weapon set, using all of these key skills to deliver excellent DPS and also banners at the same time. You love to see that. Wait, this number. I was flaming power builds. Brazil, what is... what am I looking at here on this Vindicator build that we're going to next with Revenant? What is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Gamers.
It's kind of big, isn't it?
That's quite big. 34k, 15 actions per minute Vindicator. With a 40k opener, Brazil?
The hitbox is pretty big.
I mean, yeah, it is a large hitbox, so that is slightly illegal. I will say that, but it is I do like the meme value. Okay, it's slightly illegal here, but here we go, and it's just auto attacking with Shiro, and then I presume it's supposed to Chalice. That's insane.
This is good. And there's a guide and a walkthrough. He walks through everything too.
Yeah.
In the presentation, it's really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, Grimjack is now saying that it's around a 4k DPS loss on the smaller hitbox, but still, that is still 31k with basically just auto-attacking with Shiro and Jalis on. And that's a nice toolkit here as well. You can't underestimate this. Bear in mind, this is great tool that has a mobility skill, that has a block on it as well. You're also going to have access to stability uptime and even a very powerful defensive with Rite of the Great Dwarf for a massive team-wide damage reduction. Yeah, this is a damn nice build, actually, for Vindicator. I have to say, I almost wasn't expecting to see Vindicator, actually. I was thinking more like Heralds and Renegades. But I've got to say, this is very good. This is really good, actually. Of course, plenty of cleave and utility baked into this. And it's not actually spamming its dodges that hard either, which is quite nice, right? It's just using it for that damage buff on the Grandmaster trait in Vindicator for that 15% extra damage. So that's very, very cool, actually. And this is also definitely worth mentioning. This is ridiculously tanky, right? Because this is playing with Shiro, so you've got the lifesteal heal. You also have access to Jalis as well, and that means that Jalis is going to give you that damage reduction while you have the hammers, so you have great cleave damage with the greatsword, and also very high damage reduction coming in there as well, so you're incredibly durable, and with a block too. That is absolutely wild. You'll absolutely love to see that. And yeah, of course, seeing as it's a single weapon build, bear in mind, guys, that this almost certainly is running a staff in the second weapon set. So if you need additional defense, condition cleanse, or massive defiance bar damage, you can go ahead and swap over to that second weapon for a short period of time and, well, still keep auto-attacking, right? And also use your crowd control abilities there as well. Very, very cool indeed. So let's see what's next. Ooh, support. Wow. Okay. Let's see what this is. And this is a build that you don't see that often these days. It's Herald. We're actually in the GVG arena, demonstrating a colossal heal with 800 regeneration ticks. And this is actually a build that is being played with skill clicking as well for a hyper meme.
Yes.
As well. That is an absolute hyper meme there. And of course, now this build, I want to say it's no surprise really to see this as one of the top support builds, to be honest, here. It's just so robust, right? You're going to be delivering regen, fury, swiftness, might uptime, protection uptime, vigor as well from the salvation trait line, alongside also alacrity, of course, because of the salvation trait line will be, you'll be able to keep up some uptime of that as well, all while doing some massive AoE healing, and that's group-wide healing, by the way, because fun fact about Herald, the F2 skill, Facet of Nature, it's still 10 targets, actually. This is one of the very few things that will actually heal in the other subgroup, because this the F2 on Ventari is like a pulsing healing effect that will be very effective actually on the other subgroup. In fact, I like the max character model limit for the 3 FPS gameplay on this, by the way. That really sells the Guild Wars 2. But yeah, definitely, I think if this build ends up being played effectively, right, you can see that you're delivering very basic boons, all the good stuff there, delivering great healing on your auto attacks, Condi cleansing, huge, colossal burst healing with Ventari, fantastic sustain healing with the regeneration, and of course, also alacrity uptime too. So a very, very solid entry here as well. Definitely a lot of potential on this setup, and also has incredible CC too, right? Very, very high CC. A solid build, actually. We just blasted, like Renegade, or rather Revenant, sorry, has been blasted through. Now, I've got to say, I am so fucking hyped for this one. We actually have Thief coming up next. This could be absolutely massive here. This could be absolutely huge here. Let's go and take a look at some of these builds here. Let's check it out right now. So,
yeah, there's some interesting thief builds.
I did not see this one coming. Core Thief. Coming in from Mar and Chill. The big winner here. Okay, and it's actually a kind of a guild entry as well here.
Yes.
But this is Core Thief. How much damage does this do? Just spoil me. What's the DPS on this?
It pumps.
Yeah.
It pumps.
Yeah.
12k poison ticks.
This is actually a bit of a Giga Chad build, right? We're over 30k on Core Thief right now.
Yeah, it falls off towards the end. It finishes at like 26k, but that's pretty fucking big.
I mean, it is pretty big. Okay, Core Thief there. Wait, what? Wait, we're actually using... Oh, I see. We're keeping up lead attacks by using the, the Pistol 5 attack here. I see what's going on there. No steel usage being used here as well, which I think... I mean, you should probably use steel. I'm not gonna lie. You can squeeze steel in there, I think. Because more importantly, steel will let you use like the really overpowered like raid stolen skills as well, which would be really, really nice there as well. Yeah, the Mirage helping out there with the Venoms, of course, because the Venom share is going to be where a lot of the DPS of this comes through. But a huge amount of auto attacks here as well. Just blasting away right now with all those Venoms and just maintaining around 27,000 DPS with pretty much just auto attacking, activating all the Venoms, and using the 5th skill to keep up some lead attacks for that extra damage modifier there from Trickery, right? Like, just very, very simple. It's effective. It's getting the job done there, and it's doing heavy DPS here. Of course, works best with allies around there, so the Venom gets shared out there correctly. But yeah, Core Thief, did not see that one coming. So... the best support is, well, no surprises here, right? Thief not really known for its support abilities here, but it's going to be Support Spectre. We have a Cactus here. This is now coming in here.
Yes.
From Rekinetics, I believe here. And this is actually, is this a heal build? I believe this is a heal build using the, I think that's actually with Revive too, to revive while stealthing people with that Shadow Refuge. And of course, this will be delivering Alacrity and other boon uptime with Swiftness, Fury from Trickery and so on, with the Monk runes for healing Alacrity uptime. And of course, if you really blast the ports here with this, because basically whenever you Shadow Step on this build, also with Shadow Arts too, you get a very large heal. As you can see those green numbers popping up there, that 2nd skill on Sword, really delivering a lot of healing there. And of course, all the Alacrity uptime, all the juice, all the content being quite nice here as well. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure if there's screen shake on right now, or if the game is running really, really quickly because it's been sped up. There may be screen shake enabled, okay, guys? Screen shake may be in. But, you know, you actually want that. You actually want screen shake. You want to see that. But, yeah, it's actually a build. It's a build that is a bit of an interesting one, to be honest. Like, it's... Heal Spectre to me is not quite there, but this build is definitely showing that you can make it work, right? This player is showing that you're still delivering these boons, you're still delivering some value with a whole bunch of healing in there as well. The Alacrity boon, of course, being key. Even revival power because of the Shadow Arts trait line. Whenever you stealth someone, you revive them. They basically pulse revive while they're in stealth, which is a really nice piece of utility to have, like, you know, because everyone's always feeding anyway, right? And you can see that massive heal on that Well of Gloom is absolutely vast. And this build is actually appearing to even try to do some damage, I think, actually, taking that condition damage well. So it might actually be like a semi-hybrid build, actually. Yeah, this is such a fun... This is so much fun to play, by the way, guys. This Shade Set trait, it's so good, right? You just activate your Revive, and you can just res people with that on the F1, right? So you can see the player now using the Stealth to help revive, and then the F1. Look at that massive, that colossal revive, actually, on the F1, because, of course, healing modifiers affect that 33%. So that Siphon usage on downstate allies will nearly fully revive someone, which is really, really nice, of course. Oh, that player's in trouble. They're going to die to the laser beam. But look, here comes the Shadow Refuge. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Saves the day. Gets these players back up on their feet there as well. So definitely a fun build for sure as well. A fun build to play there. Because if you really want to lean into that full Spectre class fantasy, then you can see like the amount of healing that you can deliver here as well. Oh boy.
Things get pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's Engineer. It's Engineer time, gamers. And, well... Here we go. From Mr. Mystic. Okay, Well, this low-intensity build will break Guild Wars 2. 4-button mech build, 38k DPS.
The video is good. It's got a proper guide with...
Yeah. 38k DPS. It passive self-healing, 5-man barrier on auto attacks, all signets in the utility, a blink on a low CD, and it's 17 actions per minute. Here we go. Your rotation is Mech F2, Mace 4, well, I mean, I guess Pistol 4, Mace 3, and Super Deducting Signet. Auto attack over and over and click those 4 buttons. So those are the only abilities. We're only using Mace 3, Pistol 4, Super Conducting Signet, and our Mech F2 skill, and just pure auto attacks. And this is actually a really nice bonus. Notice this. Every auto attack chain here, that's also placing a really juicy 400 barrier on the entire team. And that will really add up because this is so auto attack centric. If you actually look at the barrier per second of this build in a group scenario with like 5 other players, honestly, it's probably going to be like pretty damn good, right? Like the amount of barrier you're putting out, it will certainly be a nice little bit of support. You can see it's maintaining around 800 to 1k barrier on himself, and that will be on all the other players there as well, which is going to be a nice buffer of damage, which is really cool. And just to kind of also notice here as well, this build is packed with utility, right? We have our knockback and CC from Force Signet that can be used, a blink and a stun break on Shift Signet, and if something bad happens to the mech, then great, we can go ahead and resummon it with our elite skill as well. And I think you could even, if you wanted to, well, I guess you don't want to do that because you want the cooldown reduction on your other signets, but if you really wanted to, you could quite handily actually go ahead and take Mortar Kit or something else like that for some additional utility if you wanted to. That would be a slight DPS loss, of course, but there is that option there available. Yeah, this, by the way, the reason why the signet is so high value here is because the J Drive trait is being used, making signets stay permanently, right, no matter what. Okay, so that means it can be used freely, right? So you can use all of these abilities and actually still keep, you can still keep your extra, all the passive bonuses the entire time, right? Absolutely huge. But wow, what a build. What a build from Mr. Mystic. That is absolutely insane. Complete insanity there. Utter madness. Crazy stuff. You love to see that. You absolutely love to see that. You really do. Wow. Nice. Good job. Okay then, so let's go ahead and move on to the best support build here, and this is from Rekinetic. Oh no, it's not. I'm reading this wrong. It's from Suitpun. Okay, and it is. Let's see what does this do? It's 19 actions per minute, so quite a lot of buttons here. Full roleplay, actually, and guide.
Low intensity DPS build.
Yes, this is an interesting one. There's a full video guide for it. It's got roleplay, and it talks about how you can do, it's basically like 2 builds in one, right? If you want to do alacrity, you swap the elite spec. If you want to do quickness, you swap the elite spec.
Oh, wow.
And they talk about all of the changes that you can make. It's really big.
Oh my god.
This is a really big video.
So we're actually talking, is this like a high divine, this is like a diviner build then, I presume? A power build? By the looks of this.
Yeah.
So it looks like what we're doing here is we're going with, yeah, explosives for our extra damage, right? All that kind of stuff. We've got our gear. And yeah, we actually have this blend of Berserker. Yeah, Berserker and Diviner gear is the setup here. And this is being used so you can actually play Scrapper as well with Strength Runes for Might uptime as well. Oh my goodness, we've got a build here. We've got a build here, Brazil. Oh my goodness. This is a big build. This is actually a big build. Wait, and it's blasting 30k DPS? What? Delete Mechanist. What the hell is this? So you can play Quickness Scrapper, which is an S tier build, by the way, right? Or, well, minimum A tier with Revive, Quickness, Barrier, Super Speed, Great D. Oh, that was Cleave damage? Okay, oh, I didn't see it. Oh, yeah, he's got Cleave on. Yeah, okay, so it's hitting the skeleton as well. Okay, never mind. I was like, whoa, 30k? You kidding me? It's not that good, okay? It's not quite that good. But it's still very high value. So when you're playing the mech, you're actually going to be delivering a lot of boons here. Bear that in mind, guys. You're actually going to be going with a lot of boons. So on mech, you're giving alacrity uptime. You're giving might uptime as well. You're going to have some protection, a little bit of Aegis, some stability going on there with the way that you play that as well. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this mech here as well. You can see the kind of loadout that's being used here on the mech. Yeah, you're seeing you're getting barrier, you're going to get prep, you're going to get prot, you're going to get might, you're going to get alac, right? Some stability, some Aegis, right? And of course, it's pure signets with hard bomb kit auto attack. That is absolutely insane. Look at that. And he's also pointing out all the combo finishes as well, so you can blast might on the scrapper build too. What an actual giga, Chad. And you play shield, so you have a block, you have great CC, you can like knock mobs around all over the place. What a build. There's like a random few seconds of black screen there, but you know what? I like that. It only makes it better. Yeah. Definitely one of the builds I was expecting to see, right? Like some kind of alacrity power mech is amazing. I love the choice to actually make it a hybrid build, so it will work on Scrapper as well. That's such a cool idea, actually, to make it so that you can play both roles, that quickness role and that alacrity role at the same time. I've got to say, that gets a lot of extra bonus points for me, Brazil. I love to see that. So let's take a look at Ranger then. Let's take a look. Gonna open this one up. This is coming in from Mar and Chill. Again, from the GOE Guild.
Yep.
And let's see what we got.
GOE or champions.
And it's going to be a double spirit build as well with Soul Beast. We're going to have a sword axe setup here with the mower. And then it's basically the Sikkim setup, essentially. Very auto attack focused and executing this key combo with kind of like the Sikkim combined with Axe 5 and Worldly Impact while delivering 2 buffs as well. And even Water Spirit as well for a bit of extra sustain if you don't have that buff, which is, it's mediocre. It's not amazing. It's like 83 health a second on everyone. But yeah, that's better than nothing, right? As a skill. You could obviously also take other skills like the Bear Stance Cleanse. You could take the Healing Spring. You could take We Heal as 1, right, for your own uptime, for example. And this build seems to be delivering some pretty decent DPS, considering it's also bringing spirits to the table. It's looking like it's getting to around 27k. And for an extremely low action budget here as well, although actually, it's actually 18 actions a minute, so it's more actions than I perhaps thought, but still. Oh, this is without allies too, because I imagine this is stance share, right? So yeah, this isn't, this actually is going to be a bit better when you're playing with allies, right? Because you have the stance share component too. But still, yeah, a solid entry here, I think. And of course, only using a single weapon set. 1 pet being used, okay? Of course, you can't actually swap pets anymore on Soul Beast. Unlucky, buddy. But there you go. Look at what that next Ranger build is going to be. Let's see what it is. I don't know what it is. Let's see what it is. Here comes Ranger. Here we go. Boom. Spirit Condi Soul Beast. Skill Click Edition.
Yes.
Okay. And again, we're running with those double spirits. So kind of basically trading some APM, right? Because you don't have to use, spirits are very low actions per minute, but you can translate that into a really nice group DPS, group DPS increase, and also while maintaining this epic condition damage meme here. What are we watching? Okay, user Ben P has arrived to see these incredible theory-crafted builds from the community, Ben. We have found who can make the biggest brain builds that require the lowest actions per minute while still maintaining high effectiveness. Wow. So this is kind of the build I was actually expecting to see, right, is Conditioned Soul Beast. And again, this is actually is going to generate more value when there are team members around. I think they wanted to have clones, but the Mesmer hasn't summoned any, so they aren't really getting a lot of value out of the, they're not getting that allies benchmark with the stance share, because I don't think there are any clones summoned by this Mesmer. Maybe they're on the other side of the golem and I just can't see them, but I don't think so. But anyway, of course, this build will scale with allies because of the stance share component. Okay, and then simply just using our key abilities on Shortbow, the 2nd skill and the 4th skill, to generate great damage while flanking, while also having an excellent heal skill for removing conditions from allies, extra damage and a bit of filler might on Vulture Stance, and extra DPS here as well. Okay, from the One Wolf Pack there as well. There we go. There's not much to say about this. It's just very solid. It does the job. It's 25k DPS, has double spirit, so that's contributing a lot of damage to the group overall. With those double spirits, that's a significant DPS increase. It's a good build. It will certainly work out well in a lot of these environments. Okay. And now, most creative. Let's see what this is. It's another Condi Soul Beast, maxing out the APM to 20. And let's see what we've got here. Running only a single spirit this time, opting to have more personal DPS. Elementalist. And I think this is going to be a Tempest. Ooh. Now.
This is a big roleplay video.
Yeah.
So I like this.
Check this out, guys. Fire Master. The Fire Master Condi Tempest build. 25 might on your subgroup, 20k DPS, 9.8 APM. You know what? You know what, dude? I actually have to go a little bit hard here. I would have liked to have seen this build pushed a little bit further. I actually think you can do a lot better with Tempest than this. I know that's toxic, okay? But 20k DPS... You can go a lot further with Condi Tempest, actually, if you're going to use some of these abilities, like way further, actually. You know, kind of rotating between fire and earth. I think this you could definitely squeeze a little bit more out of a build like this, but it is still providing the might as well. So that's pretty decent, pretty good. Of course, there. But yeah, I think the general idea of this build is good. I think I would have liked to have seen a slightly better execution, though, because Condi Tempest is actually a really underrated build. It can actually go well above 30k DPS, actually. But yeah, as is being pointed out, there's some great utility here with Vigor, with Regeneration, right? Like all that kind of good stuff there as well. May get a lot higher APM. Honestly, no. The Tempest is actually quite low APM just by definition because of the way overloads work. You have a lot of downtime in the rotation, actually, but you can definitely get some big damage here. But yeah, the idea behind this build is very, very solid. And one of the things that's really nice about this is it provides protection uptime, regen uptime, vigor uptime, and might uptime as well. And even a little bit of boon extension if you go ahead and play with the Warhorn that's set up as well, though, which is kind of a really nice like extra piece of utility here as well. But there you go. That's how it is.
The next one is the... I think this is the best submission by like miles.
Okay.
Well, okay, in terms of like non-troll submissions, this is easily the best one. This is crazy.
So this is a super cool build. In my opinion, this is actually just flat out the way to go with Heal Tempest these days. Arcane with Staff, Might uptime from the Fire Overload, and swapping attunement into Fire as well. And of course, you can blast your Fire Field. You can use Feel the Burn as well for that Might uptime. You've got Prot uptime from Aftershock, and Arcane is so good for this because whenever you swap into Earth, it does AoE protection on everyone. You've got Evasive Arcanist. When you dodge roll, you're going to be healing people, right? You've got Vigor and Regeneration from blasting your field, from using your shouts there. Oh man, this build is honestly very juicy. Right? Very, very juicy build indeed. And of course, plenty of utility left over there as well. You've got access to Rebound on this, but of course, you've got amazing Revive utility with Arcane Resurrection. So that makes your Geyser an AoE Revive. When you press F, you summon a free Geyser. You have a ranged AoE heal with Signet of Water here, which also revives a little bit. And then, of course, you've got good old Water auto-attacking with Soothing Mist. Is there any gameplay here, actually? I want to see if there's some gameplay, maybe. Okay, but here we go. There we go. We get the instant revive, and it's very fast, right? That's the thing about this Geyser. It revives incredibly quickly, thanks to that the massive revival power. Oh, here we go. And the double tap. There's the double tap. Oh, he doesn't have a cooldown yet on the double tap, but still, the revive is very, very quick, as we can see here, and it just gets those players back up immediately. He's actually what I like about this, he's actually lagging in this clip really badly. Oh, that guy just... Oh, dude,
agree completely.
Those guys just like randomly ran into the laser beam just for no reason, but it's okay because the Healing Tempest has arrived to save the day. And this is actually a really interesting kind of like more dynamic style actually of Heal Tempest. He swaps attunements a lot. Instead of utilizing the Earth Overload as well, it's very, you know, he's moving around a lot, so those abilities are always going to be off cooldown if they are needed. And you can see that the boon uptime is very, very solid. I actually suspect that Tempest is actually going to get Alacrity in the future. Oh, here's the big one. That's a juicy one. Ooh, that's a juicy res. Wash the Pain will be a really juicy resustain here as well. Here it comes. The big heal is activating. Bit of lag happening at the same time there. But yeah, very, very cool build actually here. Now we're on Anka CM as well for a bit of a clown fiesta here with those Quaggons. Not a surprise there whatsoever. But yeah, I think that we actually are going to be seeing Alacrity on Temis. And when that happens, builds like this are going to be fire, right? Alacrity uptime, massive healing. Because, you know, a lot of people are shit on Tempest for not having offensive buffs or, you know, quickness or alacrity. But it has supreme healing. Right, absolutely supreme healing in terms of sustain from Soothing Mist, the regeneration, the staff auto attacks, the reviving, and then they die to Anchor at the end, I presume. There, very good. That definitely is one of the cool builds there for sure. And hey, there's still hope for all of those Heal Tempest mains out there. That's for sure. So this is DPS Harbinger, and it's 34k DPS. That's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing 34k DPS Brazil. That's quite good.
That's pretty good damage.
You know what I like there is that he actually AFK just double casting Blooder's Power. Because he didn't want to use the action, right? Just wanted to just double cast that and go into Shroud for the Giga transfer. And here come the Shroud auto attacks. And obviously, this is a build that you're probably going to see a bit of a similar variant to this down the line in the support component. Because, of course, this build can be very easily adapted to apply very good quickness uptime as well, simply by changing that Grandmaster trait. And, of course, this is a full damage build, right? And you can see here that this build is really slapping, actually. A huge amount of damage output is coming through right now. We're already at 30k. It's going to slowly ramp up over time there. The minion just going crazy. And that minion will be a bit of a free utility slot. You could actually very easily take a different elixir if you wanted another elixir for some more Condi cleanse or just like some more boon or some bit of boon application, for example, to help out with quickness. You could take Epidemic, Spectral for CC, because that minion, it's a DPS increase, but you can very easily swap it out for some utility as well simultaneously. You have Warhorn here for great CC built in, and of course you're not using a Voracious Arc or Vital Draw, that 5th skill in Shroud there, so there's plenty of room to actually break defiance bars and even use the mobility on those skills too, as opposed to using them for DPS. So yeah, this is exactly what it says on the tin. Extremely robust build, extremely good damage for a very low amount of actions, and a very, very streamlined gameplay. But yeah, there you go. It's not too many actions, guys. It's actually been computed. It's 18 actions per minute is how many it is. But anyway, let's move on to Angrax, the best support build. And it is Support Quickness Harbinger. This is going to be that Ritualist build again. And I think this build is actually also focused on delivering might uptime too. And even going with the elite skill. Of course, I guess you could go with Plague Lands for some more damage if you wanted to, actually. But there you go. There you go. Here's the build, using all the elixirs to keep up the blight uptime. And the thing about this is that you're actually going to get a lot of uptime on a lot of these boons, right? So we have quickness, fury, regeneration, might, and swiftness all baked into one build here, while delivering some very, very solid DPS, I believe, at the same time here. Although I think this is a much more support-oriented build, I believe. So maybe not the crazy DPS. Wait, what is this DPS, actually? How much damage does this do? Wait, is this like 10k DPS?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Wait, why is it 11k DPS?
Yeah, why is it 11k?
Why is this the top support build, Brazil? Why is it 11k?
It's the submission says Celestial with Tormenting Runes. I guess maybe that's why. That's interesting.
This is a putrid build, Brazil.
Well, you just change the gear and it would be fine.
And yeah, if you go Ritualist, then it becomes... It heals. It has regen ticks, right? It has regen ticks. That's big. It's big. Let us move on to Mesmer, which is actually the final profession that we're going to talk about right now.
Yep.
And first up is going to be the... Oh, actually, by the way, that was from ICP Dragon Slayer, by the way. That was the most created Necromancer, just so everyone knows. Okay, and this one is going to be...
Mesmer submissions are really good.
Okay, here we go.
They actually have... There are two that have full build guides with roleplay.
Oh!
They were really good submissions.
Oh my god. Yeah, here we have from NTICE. Let's go. This is a bit of an introduction. We have our trait overview coming in here and all of the equipment there. So it's actually a full guide, so definitely worth checking that out. It'll be linked in the description, of course, guys. You can see how it's, yeah, obviously a lot of clone abuse with Infinite Horizon. So let's see the damage on this. This is going to get wild. Believe me. This is going to be absolutely crazy. Ah, and I believe this is a utilization of Stacks Mirage, actually. So in other words, what this is going to do is it's also going to be providing a degree of alacrity uptime and might uptime, while also actually bringing massive DPS, actually. So you have boon coverage, alacrity uptime, and that massive torment damage from all of those axe clones getting Infinite Horizon and just spamming out all of those tormenting axes on the dodge roll there. So huge output here. And again, you know, a very low amount of actions. There's 20 actions per minute right now. And again, you can see it focusing on a very low amount of abilities, right? We're just basically auto-attacking more or less, right? We're auto-attacking almost entirely, and we're still going to be supporting our team, delivering excellent damage per second with great utility at the same time, actually, with, you know, like the F3, the distortion, right? Like all that kind of stuff, like CC on the Signet. Yeah, you don't do 100% alac with this build. You need 2 of them to do that. That's kind of the nature of the way these stacks builds work. But of course, you can simply just like camp staff as well if you want to, right? So you can camp staff if you want to go for that full. So there's actually a bit of flexibility, right? The axe ability here is just for some more damage on those auto attacks, right? But if you did want to go for alacrity uptime, you could just stay on staff, right? And just spam your dodges out, right? You could just be spamming dodges really hard on staff Mirage, and then you will get to that 25 might and your alacrity uptime at the same time. This is simply a bit more of a, you've got options here, right? You can go full damage and have a bit of alacrity, or you can go full alacrity if you want to as well. So plenty of value, plenty of memes, plenty of gaming there with this build. And again, loads of free utility slots. You could take Moa on this. You could take feedback if you want to. All this kind of good stuff. So a very flexible build. I think the Mesmer ones are going to be really good because Mesmer in general it has a lot of very powerful builds, particularly around Mirage and Virtuoso as well. But there we go. That is that. So well done to NTICE. It's a big build there. And actually, before we go, let's have a look at this real raid scenario. This clip shows an example with many mistakes and not perfect boon uptime. It should show that this build is good. Okay, this build is realistic and usable in pugs without much group preparation. Okay, let us see a realistic group scenario. Let's see this build pump. And here we go. I think we're just in kind of a pug group here. Yeah, we can see the Heal Firebrand, and we have that Druid over there as well. So just very standard group here. And this build is actually delivering top DPS, Brazil. Okay, this is actually a top DPS setup. And I believe we are seeing the usage of this build that is aimed at alacrity uptime here. Actually, just go to Axe there for a little bit. Not going for that alacrity uptime fully, but just trying to pump a bit of damage here at the same time. You know, imagine greeting and not going for the Omega uptime there, but yeah. Unlucky. Griefing the subgroup with alacrity there, but you know what? You are top of the meter, so you have that going for you, right? So that's not too bad there. Yeah, you can do staff, right? So you could just have an extra staffer and a swap between those for energy sigils, and then get even more alacrity uptime if you wanted to be honest. Let's see Port Allen's alac uptime. Exactly right. But there we go. There we go. Good shit. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. But you can see, yeah, put 2 of them in a group, and then away you go. Yeah, Chrono Tank. Yeah, this is actually top DPS build. Chrono Tank. Now, this is a build. I like this build. It's not that common these days. Well, actually, it's still pretty common, actually. People still play it, but here we go.
I have a special place in my heart for people that still play Chrono Tank.
Mickey Mouse Raiding Club.
Yeah.
What is that? Wait, do they all... Are all their characters Mickey Mouse? Is that what this is?
It's a roleplay teapot.
It's just role-playing? Man, I get it.
Oh yeah, it's Mickey Mouse.
So we have... Wait, is this build a quickness and an alac build? I believe it is, actually.
Yes, it is.
Ooh, Mimic Alacwell Skill Click Edition.
Yeah.
With Signet Minstrel. This is like a full Minstrel build here, so this is a tank build. And obviously, you're going to be generating quickness whenever you shatter any of these things. And of course, Scepter gives you so much clone generation with the high boon duration. You are going to have ridiculous quickness uptime. And then you simply mimic the Alacrity well to guarantee that high Alacrity uptime, and also you also have that boon extension actually combined with the with the Alacrity uptime there, which will also extend out boons, all the other boons like protection, right? This build actually does provide a decent amount of prot too. Like using that shield 4 will apply area protection when those phantoms actually land their hits too. Looks like it is a continuum split free version, leaving you to use it for your elite skill or maybe some key abilities that you want to duplicate there as well. But yeah, Alacrity well, so you've got quickness and Alacrity on this build, bit of protection uptime if you use that second skill, massive clone generation, and of course huge defensive potential with the distortion on your signet, distortion on your heal skill. You also have it refreshing your phantoms, so phantasms you can block again. Scepter 2 with a great block there as well, and the chaos trait line that we see here for that great damage reduction while summoning clones. It's going to be a permanent 10 to 15% damage reduction, and that is absolutely delicious. It really, really is. And you can see there, you have that uptime, you've got the quickness and the Alacrity at the same time. Of course, bear in mind, you don't have to run the Alac well. You could very easily run more utility. You could run feedback to revive people. You could run the quickness well if you want more quickness uptime, stability on the stability mantra, cleanse with the cleanse mantra, right? There's really a lot of stuff you could do. You can do portal, you can do blink, right? You can do boon, phantasmal disenchanter, right? There's loads of really interesting things that you can actually bring to the table on boon chronomancer, right? Like on this tank chrono. And again, you don't have to use Alacrity if you don't want to, or if it's not necessary, because a lot of the time these days, like you don't typically roll compress all the way onto, all the way down to one player with quickness and Alacrity, so you can very easily extend this out and just go ahead and run, just go ahead and run quickness, or even just Alacrity. I mean, that would be a bit weird, but you could do it. Have like a heal brand or something like that. Then you're kind of running double healer. I don't know. It'll be super weird. You could do it though. It's theoretically possible. That actually is going to just about wrap up the actual section there. The official winners, and then we're going to move on to the wild card. So I'm going to quickly just read out all of the winners there. So big congratulations to all of our winners for this category: Support Hero, Boven, Seiran, Microhard, Narsen, Spirit Dragon, Zeau, okay, Hisavar, Voldorn, okay, the GOE Guild, Rekinetics, Boven, Thor, Sutpun, Zionon, GOE twice more, Seiran, Lokogek, Jaxu, okay, or Jazaku, okay, Microhard, Angrax, ICP Dragonslayer, NTICE, G1 Rene, and RE Magic. Congratulations to all of our incredible winners. Well done. That actually took a little bit longer than I was expecting. Holy shit, that really took a long time. But yeah, there you have it. That is the entire accessibility contest. And I actually want to really say a massive thank you to everyone who entered. I think it's a really cool thing that we tried to do this. And honestly, I think people really went above and beyond. I was a little worried, and I know Brazil and Bacon Boy and the other admins were, that people would be very low effort or people wouldn't bother to enter. But I think this really is fantastic. I think we had over 100 entries, if I recall correctly.
We had 130 entries.
130 entries exactly for the total there. So people really went all out for this, went super high effort with some of these videos, right? With the editing, the guides, right? Like the wiki pages, like the memes, the montages, right? So thank you so much for everyone who entered. I really hope that you enjoyed all of this. Like I said, if this ends up on YouTube, we're going to link the spreadsheet to all the builds that you can see. And hell, honestly, maybe we'll just link every single build. We'll link the entire spreadsheet for you guys to see all of the entries, not just the ones that we've selected here to take a look at. You're probably going to see a lot of these actually pop up on the Hardsoap website as well. We'll curate those and hopefully get some full-on guide videos done for some of that stuff. But it's really cool stuff there. Absolutely incredible. So thank you guys so much for entering and having some fun here and creating some builds that I think will really help people and really showing players what can be done, that you don't have to be this kind of pianist, right, to get really effective builds, right? There are some really strong builds that got showcased here, like no joke, really good builds actually. That we saw on display in this contest. So hope you really enjoyed it, and congratulations to all of our winners. They are all brand new community conquerors. And like I said, we'll probably slap the list of the winners on the screen about now, right? So you can see everyone's beautiful names, maybe the profession that they entered at as well too. And of course that'll be in the description of the video, right? In the spreadsheet, all of that kind of incredible stuff. But yeah, so don't worry, you'll be able to see all this, and we'll have timestamps and everything there as well, guys. But that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and follow follow our social media, join Discord, go subscribe to all those YouTube channels, by the way, guys. We'll link those. Give them a like, give them a sub, give them a view, right? And try it out and have some fun. And of course, a big shout out to the team that actually helped organize this. And that's going to be Brazil, Kamina, Bacon Boy, and Twisted Trans Sister as well, who were also key in this. And also another special shout out to Accessibility Wars, which is a community in Guild Wars 2, which is dedicated to improving the experience of players who have issues that cause them to have a bit of a tough time engaging in the game, whether that's a physical disability or something else, right? That inhibits their ability to play the game in a way that they might otherwise be able to. So, and they actually gave us a lot of feedback on designing the rule set and designing the conditions for that stuff as well. So really big shout out to that as well. And we'll link that Discord too. You should definitely join that and go and say hi. But yeah, that's about it. Brazil, do you have any final words to discuss it?
It was a really awesome contest, and it was really great to see all of the people that got involved, and it was really awesome to see people group together as guilds and submit. I think that guild submitted maybe like 10 different builds. Micro Hard seriously submitted probably 80 of the 130 entries. Not actually, but there were fucking a lot of them. And it was great. There were people that just took it to a level that I was not expecting, and I don't think any of us were expecting. There were some memes, there were some good shit posts, but there was seriously a lot of effort and thought put into pretty much all the builds. And there was stuff like the very first Guardian build that we went over with Stoic Demeanor, like that's still like I love that build. That was really awesome. Just from start to finish, it was a great time. It was a great experience. We all loved putting it on for everybody, and we hope that you will check out some of the builds. And to all the people that submitted, thank you a lot.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic indeed. But yeah, that's going to basically wrap it up. And again, as a quick reminder, make sure to follow everyone involved, watch all the YouTubers, and check out those creators. There's some genuinely super cool editing and well-made stuff there as well. I'd highly recommend looking at those YouTube channels. I hope they continue to make more, right? And of course, down the line, we would love to do this again, right? Maybe we'll do something similar after the June patch, right? Because there's going to be loads of new builds coming up there. So stay tuned for more stuff like this. And again, we hope to be publishing a section on our website focused around this. And actually, we're going to be working with creators who are in the accessibility sphere to actually have a lot of resources and information on hardsuck.gg that are aimed at accessibility. Like, for example, Bacon Boy is going to be working with us to make some content about how to play with limited use of only one hand, for example, like hotkey setups you can use. Like Kamina will write some stuff as well, because Kamina has, again, problems with his hands because of cystic fibrosis that limit his dexterity significantly. And we're going to have a lot of resources like that with players who have direct experience with this stuff, and just sharing their experience and talking about solutions that they've found, and that hopefully will be able to help more players enjoy the game and all that kind of stuff there as well. So yeah, once again, thank you so much. That is going to be the end of the Guild Wars 2 Hardsuck Accessibility Contest. We'll see you next time around there. Congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you so much for all of the entrants. Keep it up, gamers. Let's go, and let's make the best Guild Wars 2 community possible, even better than it already is. And we hope to see you next time, entering again for a shot at some big gold, some big competition, some big gaming. But that is just going to be about it. We're done. That's it, guys. Enjoy.